This is Moon Apothecary Radio, 80.8 FM. I'm your host, Audrey, and I have selected at random, not totally at random, but not with much thought, from Myrtle Wombat's music library. This is what I actually look like when I'm not suited up, but you'd rather probably want to see me suited up, so that's why I showed the first one and then the second one afterwards, the second one being what I actually look like. Okay, so this is a music library at the Myrtle Wombat store. It's in Brooklyn. Come check it out if you live in New York City. This is where I pulled the records that I'm going to show you. This is Max Francis's collection. He will restock them. People will buy them. I've seen these vinyls in the crate here and there, but I never look through deeply enough, and I'm going to start changing that. Going forward, I want to make more of these episodes where I pull at random, based on intuition, how I feel inside. This is one of the albums I pulled out because I liked the barcode on it, and I was like, oh, I know Dave Davies. So I've never heard this album before. I don't know what the music is inside of it. I picked out this one as well because I no longer use an electric toothbrush because my electric toothbrush broke. It lasted for around like a year and a half, 2 years, I would say, almost 2 years, which is, I guess, not a long time, but it was a pretty cheap toothbrush I got off of Amazon, and it was for my travels. So there you go. Back to analog toothbrush life. So this is a visual I see pretty often, is seeing my toothbrush in the bathroom. This is what the back of the album looks like with the band members. I did not do this for the Dave Davies album. I didn't turn it around and get a photo, but I remember to do that for this one, and I was very happy to see what was on the other side. All the band members had selected face paint for themselves, what color that they wanted to be painted as. They're all beautiful. And then we have here this album. I didn't know what it was because there's no names on the front, but it is beautiful visual. I liked the visual on it, the colors, the clouds in it, the blue, and it's OCs. I don't know anything about that album. And then we have here the Hall & Oates H2O, and it's summertime. I was feeling thirsty for water, so, because water is life and it hydrates. This is the back of that album. You know what? I think that's actually sweat. So it's sweat on skin, because they're looking pretty sweaty. Then we have here Sam Cooke, 20 Great Hits. I have an affinity to Sam Cooke. My whole family does. I've been listening to Sam Cooke a lot my whole life because my father was a big fan. He'd always sing it in karaoke. So I pulled that one out. And then we have here Kalpana, Improvisations, Instrumental and Dance Music of India. I was curious about this, didn't know anything about, I don't know much about Indian music. It's classical music, so pulled it out. Was very happy to see this because I don't know much about the style of music. So then we have here the Japanese melodies, flute and harp. We as in Myrtle Wombat, I work there, and this is my own personal show that I do, but I'm so happy that we have a music library in there so I can do this cool thing where I can blend my project with this radio show with a physical place that exists that has music that I can always look through. My coworker and artist, musician, Max Francis, can in a way co-create together in this way. So, bringing in his music collection into the show, and we wouldn't have met if it weren't for this shop. So we sell records there, and and the money all goes to Max because it's his collection. We provide a spot for him to sell. Yeah, this is the back of it. It's very wordy, so I can't really, I'm not going to read the fine print unless I select this album with a D20 roll, and I'm going to explain a little bit further here. So this is a game that I developed over the last few months. It's a way for me to co-create with the universe. Co-creation. What is co-creation? Co-creation is when you work together, collaborate with another energy beyond your own, psychically, emotionally, even intuitively. That's the best way for me to describe it. I'm sure someone else could describe it differently, but that's how I define it, because it could be like a physical person, right? Or it could be that of like a ghost, for all I know, or even like an insect that you're sitting next to. You could co-create with an insect, believe it or not. So but this in this case, it's co-creating with the air, if that makes sense. Like the air. I don't know how to chance the universe, the all of the forces of nature in this moment. I roll the D20 die that I have, and so I have here die that I use, and we have 7 albums. I decided to go with this font because it's fancy, and I wanted to impress people with fancier font. And so I was going to go with like a bubbly font, like something a little bit more like fun. And I was like, no, this is already too fun. So I pulled back a bit, and I was like, we're going to go a little bit more sophisticated. So I chose a sophisticated font for the numbers. And then, and I already thought that was like too loud. It's a bit loud because there's so many colors going on here with the different albums. But yeah, so these are the 7 albums. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the D20 die here. Okay, so we have here, I hope you can see, but it's 17. Since there's only 7 here, we're going to have to round it up. I usually round up, but because we don't have any numbers up, we're going to round down. So we selected the Indian improvisation one. Now that we've selected an album with the D20, we're going to select a song from that album in the same way. This is my die right here. I'm going to roll it up, and just like the last roll, I'm going to round up or round down depending on what comes out. So we have here, what does that say? It says 13. So we're going to round up. Okay, so we got 13. The song that we have is Rag Hemant, which is a 17-minute long song. And what I do for my rabbit hole discovery is that I like to do a intuitive search through the internet, right? So I'll look at hyperlinks. I'll select hyperlinks that pop out at me. There are certain sections that I like to read more than others, and I'm not doing it with any what do you call, like a premeditated thought or intention, besides the fact that I would like to learn, right? So whatever it is that jumps out at me. I do have a background in being a musician since I was a child, since 3. I have played music in orchestra, strings, and in a symphonic band. So I do have it more of like a technical background, but I don't really have a very strong, I guess like a knowledge base of the artists and the composers, because I was so focused on more of the technical aspects throughout my youth. So we're going to do a search together. What will you learn in the duration of the song? Well, the point of the game is to learn as much as I can possibly during the duration of the song. And that's it. Like I have to stop looking into the song after the song ends, right? So that's like the hard stop. And that's the rule of the game. So this is the Optimystic Music Discovery Extravaganza. I don't know anything about this song. I don't know anything about the people who made this song. I don't know the artist. That's the whole point of the show. And I'm excited to jump into a rabbit hole. Hope you are as well. Let's go into the rabbit hole together. I'm doing my best here with pronunciations. I have received a comment in the past, specifically for my Pogues cover episode, and it was because I said a name wrong. I corrected that, but that shows the process of learning. And I'm concerned about how easy it is to offload our desire to learn or motivation to learn and expand our brains physically, neurologically, because of the introduction of AI. So I am encouraging myself to do as much cognitive processing as possible as a human being on Earth in 2025. And because I love music and I'm passionate about it, this is how I engage with the world and environment in an exciting way and stretch the parts of my brain. That would be similar to that of doing calculations and mathematical algorithms, so that we don't even do anymore either. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this inspires you as well to play this game. I hope that you feel inspired to give it a go yourself. All you need you don't need 2 D20s, you only need 1. But I like to collect them. And I've only started my collection now. So, and these are the only 2. I wanted them in 2 different colors, obviously, because why would you want the same color twice, right? But these are my favorite colors. Right now, I kind of go by things visually. Let's get started. The moment I start playing this song, I have 17 minutes and 11 seconds to find out as much as I can about the song. And so here we go. Okay. I'm going to turn this down a little bit so it's in the background. Okay, so we already lost a few seconds. Let's go. Okay, so when I looked up Kalpana improvisations, the first thing that came up was the Internet Archives. And it was this link that you're hearing the music off of. It is available on the internet for free at this point, provided by the Internet Archive. So you can also listen to the entire album on YouTube. So let's look into, first thing, Wikipedia. Okay, Wikipedia can offer us some, maybe later, I'll donate later. We'll close out for now, I guess. And then we'll return to that. Definitely want to support Wikipedia for the collective work that everyone's done. So thank you, Wikipedia. So we have Kalpana Swaram, also called Swara Kalpana. It seems to be Swaram Kalpana, Kalpana Swaram. It can be interchanged, and it is considered in Carnatic music. Can also go simply as swaras. It's a mellow, rhythmic raga improvisation in a specific tala. Now I'm going to go into tala because I don't really know what that is. Tala is a music, Indian classical music, and it stems from Hinduism. Tala refers to a musical meter in classical Indian music It literally means clap, tapping one's hand on one's arm as a musical measure. So that's like this. It's a rhythmic beat. So tala is the name for that. Fascinating, because I don't know any name that encapsulates that specific act in sound and rhythm of tapping your hand on an arm. You know when someone comes up to you and they go like, hey, tap, tap, right? That's someone in a way doing like a tala to you in a rhythmic, playful way, right? Like it's a connection of a beat. So that's fascinating to me. Okay, so that's a great thing to learn. The measure is typically established by hand clapping as well. So waving, touching fingers on the thigh. So interesting. It's percussion using the body. How does that relate to this song? It doesn't really at this time. Because the song doesn't have any percussion just yet. We have here, so the song is called Rag Hemant Alap, slow tempo gat intental, fast tempo gat intental. It is a very slow tempo song. The tala in this is, if I'm correct, it's syncopated in a strange way. It's not a perfect beat, steady, continuous, repetitive beat. It has variety, it has dynamism. It's like a pull, a push and pull that has a lot of tension between each after each like bar, you know? So yeah, it's fascinating to me. Interesting. Another sophistication in talas is the lack of strong, weak beat composition typical of the traditional European meter. In classical Indian tradition, the tala is not restricted to permutations of strong and weak beats, but its flexibility permits the accent of a beat to be decided by the shape of a musical phrase. That answers exactly what I was curious about in that moment. I was wondering about this song. Like, what is it that makes this, I assumed, right? I assumed that there was, that beat and rhythm meant that it was a continuous and repetitive, syncopated, steady, right? Phrase, musical phrase. But this is, it's like it wraps around itself. And all of the instruments, now we have the drums coming in. It doesn't match in terms of the same beat, and yet it does match. Together, they work together. It's a dance between different beats. A bit like walking down a street in the city, right? Because when you are walking faster than the person behind you or in front of you, you don't always rush past them or fall behind so far. You're always kind of in a movement together where you are aware of one another's presence when you're walking, and you have the choice to like really blow past them and totally leave their vicinity, right? But then there's always the option of walking kind of like within a certain space between them that is together, right? It's working together. So here's another example. You know how you can sometimes feel when someone is walking fast, right? All of a sudden, your body like feels the pull with it. So, or slow. If they slow down, you slow down with it. Like you're driving a car. The car in front of you speeds up. You feel the urge to speed up with them. Like you were at once a cluster, a group together. You may not even know this person who's in the car right in front of you, but in that moment, for a moment, you were connected and by some invisible thread. And you're moving a bit like how geese, when they flock together in a triangle formation, they move with a momentum together. It's like their bodies provide an additional accelerated, like as a group, as a bigger entity. This has been proven that they fly faster when they're in a certain formation, so together as a group, as opposed to when they're flying alone. So I find that fascinating. It's like a group speed thing. And I feel like Tala does a good job of showing that, but more in a... Sorry, my camera shakes because of the stand that it's on. But it's different from, I guess, Western orchestral arrangements that have a very steady bar and beat and all that stuff to keep it replicated. You know, you can replicate the song across different orchestras, right? So it's like you're listening to the original copy again and again and again, but it's always a different group of people, right? When you have different players. When it comes to improvisation music, it allows you to represent, I guess, yourself and your own rhythm and your own beat, and how it comes out, how it gets expressed through you. There's no need to be a clone of the original copy of the song that was created. Fascinating. So it's different every time. Tala music is different every time. We have here, Kalpana swara may start at any place in the Tala, but invariably the artist must end their improvisation at the first note of the first phrase of the composition, at the place in the rhythm cycle where that note is. What does that mean? It's a bit of a riddle in my mind. However, what that means is that any player is able to enter into the Tala at any point, right? But you must end your play, your improvisation, your expression musically at the first note of the first phrase. Of the composition. That's like the rule of a swaram. So you need to be listening to the first phrase of the song closely as it starts. Have attention, give attention to it. Otherwise, it won't work. Fascinating, huh? I guess that means that you can play however you would like within the Tala. and you will not make a mistake when as you're playing, right? Like audibly, it won't sound wrong. It's always correct if you end your go at the song, your improvisation, your part of the song, your play, at the first note of the first phrase. Okay. So to arrive at that note, one has to approach it from the closest note below. Wow. Speaking of stretching the brain, my brain is being stretched right now. I am having difficulty understanding this. So where that note is, to arrive at that note, one has to approach it from the closest note below. There are, however, instances where Kalpana swaras are rendered at various starting points of the composition, which may not coincide with the start of the Tala cycle. In such cases, the Kalpana swaras should always end at the same position, irrespective of where they start. For example, 2 or 4 counts after the start of the Tala cycle. I am not going to try to understand this right now, and that's okay. I will consider to think on this. I can't lose my time on this. I only have 3 minutes left of this song to learn more about Kalpana Swaram. Okay. Carnatic concerts. So what's like a Carnatic concerts? I don't know. This is fascinating to me. I have no idea what any of this is. But I could stick around forever. The Carnatic concert, also known as the Kacheri, is a South Indian classical music performance featuring vocal or instrumental music, typically lasting 2 or 3 hours. That's fantastic, okay? So it's a bit of like a meditative experience, trance experience for everybody who's, whether you're the audience or not. So everybody's together watching for 2 hours. It's slow pulse. Okay, so there are all these different... there are all of these different performances, musical performances that can happen in a Carnatic concert. So that's a cool phrase, Carnatic concerts. Let's see what Carnatic concerts are near me. Maybe you'll go to one. Welcome to Carnatic America. They list, we maintain a list of Carnatic events, concerts happening in the US and in Canada. Cool. So we have fall of 2025 concert tours. And we have a bunch of artists here. That's fantastic. So yeah, fall is approaching pretty soon. So I'm going to pick one. At random. I don't know any of these people, so let's do a quick selection of... Okay, we're going to go Ranjani Gayatri. Cool. So we have here... Oh, wow. This is already coming up. Already passed at this point. But in August, a vocal duet by Rajani and Gayatri. It's 2 different people. Eleanor Roosevelt High School. Oh, that's in Maryland. Unfortunately, I don't live in Maryland. So I'm going to do a search. In New York City. That's where I'm based right now. So in New York, we have August. That's in Pennsylvania. And then there's New Jersey. It doesn't look like they are performing in New York City. Oh, here we have a double violin concert in Brooklyn, New York City. Oh, and the song has ended. All right. So no longer can I do a search on anything more. That was it. I am... I'm glad that I got to explore this song and more about the Kalpana Swaram. And I hope that you enjoyed the game. This is the first time I've ever debuted this game. I have been working on it for, in and out, not really in any formal way. It's not written down, it's all in my head. So, but this is something that I want to do more in the future as well, where I get to pull from Max's archives, his music library, and I share. I keep saying I, and I want to stop doing that, but I would like to. It's difficult to cut that word out, but it would be nice to share music with everybody, because that is outside of whatever it is that's being pushed, I think, by the AI algorithm, and it's a way to discover music of the past that has informed the music today. That's really it. And I personally don't know enough, and I always think I can learn more. And I'm saying I so many times, so I will close this out very soon. To me, that is a sign that I need to stop talking. But Max Francis is a wonderful music artist, composer. He does amazing sounds, compositions in his own home. He has a studio in his own home, and he has a great extensive musical library, which is he's been selling these albums to people. And these vinyls I have seen in the crate for a few weeks now, and I wondered to myself, like, why are these not going anywhere? So giving love to the music that have not been able to find new homes, and appreciating them. In the end, I may be the one to be the one to house them. If there is a draw to the album, I might take them home. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to Moon Apothecary Radio 80.8 FM. I'm your host, Audrey, and take care. Thank you so much for listening again, and have a wonderful day. And I hope you enjoy the song. If you would like to learn more about this song on your own time, please look up the link. I will leave the link for you to do a rabbit hole jump very quickly, quick links, right? In the description box below. If you have any comments about this song, about the artist, if you have any personal connection to this music, please leave a comment and let me know. I'm sure people would love to know about it. I do have a guest that I would like to speak with that has been in the talks with me on having a conversation for Moon Apothecary Radio, a filmmaker who I will not name yet, because our conversation has not been confirmed yet, and it continues to be delayed by life circumstances on both parts. So hopefully when everything comes together perfectly, the timing is everything. So but he's a wonderful human being, has been through a lot, and maybe he will be on the show next. But that there is a guest for my next sit down, longer form episode with the conversation and about consciousness and dream and the psyche, coming up hopefully in the next few months. But yeah, I would like him to be the next guest, and I am going to be doing the game in between now until that conversation happens. He's a good friend of mine, so keeping the mystery alive by not mentioning names.